watch and burn.
Hey everybody, so tonight I am looking to discuss Clint Mansell's fucking epic score for the 2000 film Requiem for a Dream. This is one of those scores that, in addition to being really catchy and memorable, and it has so much re-listen value, it's also, once you've seen the movie at least, if you haven't seen the movie, this score is just fun. It's still dark and sad sounding, but if you don't have any of the visual components to sort of put them up against, you don't realize just how brutal and sad this score is. And I saw the movie first, of course, and then I tracked the score down, and I can't divorce myself, like, from the images, from the music and the images. They're married off to each other forever now, and that's what makes this just so affecting. Like Lux Eterna, for example, that track has been used by so many other TV shows and movies just because of, like, the sweeping power, like the sort of, like, it's the brutal and absolutely terrifying use of the violin on tracks like the overtures as well as Lux Eterna. The violins, like, cut so deep into your soul that it's like, and the reason that I find that it cuts so deep into me is just because, again, like, when I hear the violins, like, especially when, for example, towards the end of the film, when Sarah is receiving the electroshock as Marion is becoming a bigger and bigger whore for drugs, and the one guy's like, ass to ass, you know? And then you hear, it's like, dun, 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 and it, like, as Sarah's being electroshocked, it's just so, it's scary. Like, it's just so affecting, because whenever I hear any sort of, like, cutting violin, automatically, like those, like, dun, 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 like that sort of violin, I automatically think of Michael Nyman, the work that he's done with people like Peter Greenaway, because Michael Nyman likes those sort of, like, sharp cutting violins, and that is all over this. Now, in no way is Clint Mansell looking to steal anything from Michael Nyman. This is a wholly an original work from Clint Mansell. Clint Mansell, too, for anybody that doesn't know, he was the vocalist from Pop Will Eat Itself. And if you need a reference point for Pop Will Eat Itself, for anybody that's into the Prodigy, I'm pretty sure that, they were on Their Law, right? It was Pop Will Eat Itself were featured on Their Law, which was on the Prodigy's Music for the Jilted Generation, if memory serves. I know Pop Will Eat Itself pop up on Music for the Jilted Generation. I think it's on Their Law. Wow, my memory is just going, and it's because of the advanced age, which somebody commented on one of my other videos and said that I shouldn't be complaining about Dave Mustaine complaining all the time, the jackass from Megadeth, because I'm too old and I'm getting on in years and I just need to let the past go. I wasn't really aware that a person's age had any bearing whatsoever on how much they love music and movies, or what music and movies they like and choose to discuss. So does that sort of attitude, I wonder if that attitude, that age-related attitude, does that mean that am I allowed to discuss things that were released before I was born, or do I have to be born for everything I'm allowed to talk about? I have no idea. Just kind of a weird comment to get. But yeah, this is just, this whole thing feels terrifying. Even the more, like, party sort of, like, little more, like, fun hip-hop infused tracks that pop up from time to time, because you know that they're wrapped in such a endless sense of sadness, because once you've seen the movie, you're unable to divorce the music from the movie. I mean, none of this is good. Some of it is like a straight up horror movie too, like Sarah Goldfarb has left the building after she's run out of her apartment, after her refrigerator comes for her because of all the meth she's eating to stay thin. That, like, turns the score into a straight up, like, it just goes into the realm of horror so effectively. And then it's like, there's some really out of place tracks, like the conga, dun 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 dun, just kind of comes out of nowhere. And all in all, I would argue, if you haven't seen the movie, you would say that, wow, that just doesn't fit this score at all. But once you have seen the movie, you see where the conga plays in. And I'm not exactly sure where they're supposed to place the conga on the score. I know that the score works in cooperation with how the movie moved, like track 1 is at the start of the movie, and track 2, and so on and so forth. And by the end of the movie, with like Ghosts of a Future Lost, it's of course the tracks that were used at the end of the film. So everything's in, like, chronological order. But my God, if you haven't seen the movie and you just fell in love with this score, that conga's going to be so completely out of place. What else did I want to say about this? I also really liked how it got crazy, like really crazy with tracks like Southern Hospitality. That's again where things start to get out of hand, and the violins start to get really, they have like that brutalist take where it's like that chopping sound again kicks in, and I absolutely love that because it's terrifying. I also liked too how the titles from this sort of suggest how the movie's going to go. Like it starts out, like for example, the ghosts of things to come, and then there's ghosts, and then like there's the Ghosts Overture, I believe, and then the last use of the word ghost is on the track Ghosts of a Future Lost, because everything continuously falls apart from start to end. You know, these people, they don't really have much of a future. I think, no, actually, I don't really know now who would have any kind of future. Maybe Harry would. I mean, I know he lost his arm, but maybe, well, I don't exactly know what's going to happen to Harry Goldfarb, actually. He's in hospital after it was discovered when he was deciding of whether or not he was fit for work in prison. So he was already serving his time. So now that his arm's gone, I imagine he just gets schlepped off back to prison. Not good. That's not good. So I don't actually know how this movie could go, or how this movie could end well for any of them, actually, to be honest with you. I'm not 100% now. I don't think this movie's going to end very well for any of them. Marion, I suppose, she doesn't have any criminal charges. Her parents have money. She could clean up. But then at the same time, I don't know if Marion's ever going to clean up now. I don't know. This movie's a mess. But yeah, I think, yeah, let's see, was there anything else that I wanted to say? Yeah, I loved how it felt incredibly sinister, despite the fact that there were sort of flashes of hope here and there. Everything bubbling beneath the surface of this score just suggests that whatever's happening to these people is wrong, and it's a tragedy that you can't turn away from this, because the movie itself is just so compelling, and the score is, it's so catchy, and the score is just so memorable, and it's so sad. And with or without the movie, the score is worth it on its own. But I don't know, there's just so much wrong with it once you've seen the movie. It's sort of, you can't divorce yourself from the images that pop up when you hear certain tracks, right? Like Lux Eterna or Summer Overture, for example. I mean, all I'm going to think about are the tragic parts in this movie when everything's falling apart, you know? But yeah, I think that's actually where I'm going to leave it. I kind of went off the rails a little bit, and I apologize for that. But thank you so much for hanging out with me for almost 8 minutes while I discuss Clint Mansell's 2000 score for the 2000 film Requiem for a Dream. Like always, if you like this review or you like this score, don't forget to go and do something nice for somebody. But like always, most importantly, never forget that the world is a way better place because you are in it. I'm getting out of here. Have a good night, and kind of wasted your time on this one, so my apologies.